Hello and welcome to another tabletop stream. This is me, Tabletop Junkie, your host, and I am here to do a tabletop review. And today we are going to talk about, finally, after a week of reading, of constant reading, I have spent four to, I've spent anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a day for, I think, what must be a week straight. Or at least it feels like a week straight. Actually, I can get that information real quick. How long have I been reading this book? Um, let's see here. It's going to be. I started reading this heavily. Actually, I'm 2 days from a week. I've been 5 days straight. I have put probably 20 hours, no joke, into reading this book. Because I wanted to grasp the concept of, the Lone Wolf Fists by Joel Clark. This is actually a heavily mix of the post-apocalyptic meets kind of like a post-apocalyptic world meets a nuclear end. Uh, okay, let me start over. Sorry, got bloopers already, as my dear friend Ryan Roger Athay would say. All right, so Lone Wolf Fist takes a post-apocalyptic era and mixes it with kung fu fighting and mystical arts, such as like those that you see in anime. So it's based on sort of like an anime style game where you can do some of the craziest things that you think you would ever do, but yet not be so system breaking or back breaking against each of your opponents. So the setting is basically the world died in 1,000 atomic fireballs. Pockets of humanity cling to life in its ashes. Wandering heroes beat back extinction with ancient fighting arts. They are the Lone Wolf Fists. So, once again, post-apocalyptic martial arts role-playing game is a pretty good way to sum it up. You basically make a character. You can actually choose. You choose between the archetypes of a strong character, a enlightened character, and a cunning character, and you actually create your character based off of the what do you call it? The outline that you have there. The book actually goes into fully explaining the core rules, although the information seems kind of a little bit scattered, a little bit. Needs maybe a little bit more slimmed down, streamlined, a little bit, but I think it's actually pretty good at what it's trying to convey. So you do have to actually pay really close attention. Now, the biggest thing is this book does go into explaining the core rules, starting with the 7 skills and masteries, which is basically power, agility, endurance, intellect, senses, heart, and spirit. And then it goes into many different things, such as you get the 7 skills and what rank and facings are. Now, when you actually have ranks and facings, that's basically the die rolls that you have there, which we will actually explain in another video. Meanwhile, I just want to try and focus on what we have here, as I do have to go through each and every piece of this book. Once you get past the core rules, we actually get down into character generation. The core rules actually covers the skills, the scenes, how real-time actions and skips work, as well as scales, hazards of the world, elemental dangers, and combat, such as stuff with weapons and armor. And he does have a lot of charts, as well as how magic, dharma, and prana and chakras work. I will have to say that we will not go in deeply into this, other than I do recommend to please pick up the book for only, I believe it is $14.99 on drivethrurpg.com, which the link will be in my description down below. Going further, it does go into keywords and what you call the Goop Kala. The Goop Kala is actually it's like a secretive sibling of the mystical martial arts. The shadow arts or the Goop Kala are basically sub-disciplines. How does a Goop Kala work? Goop Kala works by adding new capabilities to certain skills. This can manifest in a few different ways. At certain ranks of given skill effect charts, they might add new options to supplement the standard effects. going down from there, we actually go into the second chapter of the book, character creation. This is where I was actually kind of talking a little bit about previously, where it tells you how do how to create your character. The very first thing that you do is the GM will pitch their campaign, the players will pitch their character concepts, then they will choose an archetype. They can either do this together, or, as I like to say, the GM can trust his players by strictly just choosing the archetypes that would best fit their characters. The archetypes are strong, cunning, and enlightened. The strong archetype is the mightiest, most straightforward of heroes, while the cunning is the intellectuals, tricksters, and schemers, and the enlightened are those that are inclined towards the mystical and arcane. Although this does not actually cast spells as you would think in the medieval setting, think of it more like a Kamehameha wave from Dragon Ball, or using like a what do they call it? I forgot what they call it. Not like a jutsu from Naruto. There we go. Or building up spiritual pressure. It's how you would typically see that stuff coming forward, I think. But that's how I understand it. And I think actually the more mystical arcane stuff is more towards like spells. It's the piranha that actually gives it that feel that you would like to think. But the enlightened actually, I believe, starts off with more piranha than most of any other ones. And I'm actually going to check that out real quick while I'm talking about that. Let's see. Well, 316 is what they're 3:6, but they do start off with 2 initial chakras. They are kind of like the wizards of this world. Whereas a strong hero and a cunning hero only starts off with 1 initial chakra, and a enlightened hero actually has 2 different ones. And each one starts off with 1 mastery of each, of like a form. Everything is sort of like the way the charts are actually reading this, like you actually have charts which actually brings everything into focus. Each one has a degree, and then each degree says how much effort you should have, how much effortless you should have, focus, initial chakra, pull and recovery, masteries, health, and aura. If you want to know more about these, I do recommend, once again, picking up the book Lone Wolf Fists. Once you have your archetype, you actually go down and pick out of the 7 great clans that you are. You have the Brotherhood of Freaks, which actually goes into, think of it like clans from the World of Darkness, for those who have played, or the, as most people would like to know these days, the Masquerade. You have the Emerald Kieran. You have another great clan is the 5-Star Spirits, as well as the Golden Lions. And then the Radioactive Scorpions. I have to actually mention, I like the Radioactive Scorpions. That is actually my favorite clan. I do want to point that out. Even before cities were burned and the earth turned sour, there were those that spurned the civilized world. They are basically your things of like what you would consider the punks of this universe. And they fight against, and they do, it's strange. They do have leadership, but they fight against the leadership. So I kind of like that. Or they fight against the status quo. Going from there, we do have Shadow Vipers. We have Silver Phoenix. And then we have a Ronin. That is another one favorite of mine is the Ronins. Those that do not actually align themselves with any one particular group. They just uphold personal honor by either answering an insult with violence or defending the innocent or upholding a law at significant personal risk. I do like Ronins a little bit better because I'm a bit of a loner myself and always kind of imagine myself, like if I had a character, I would imagine that it would be a Ronin. Alright, so going from there, then we have the many types of forms. These forms are actually called the 14 Udakala. Boy, I hope that Mr. Joel Clark is actually seeing this, and maybe he could put the pronunciations in my comment section. You don't have to, sir, but I would appreciate it if I get a little bit of pronunciations there. So the 14 infamous martial arts style. Starting off with, you actually have 14 of them to choose from. The Heaven and Earth Romance. Then we go down to in each also martial arts. Before we continue, I would like to point out that each one has a form. Each one has novice, expert, master, and supreme skills. I did say that right. Novice, expert, master, and supreme. Supreme is the strongest of the strongest skills that anyone can master. Going after, you have the Heaven and Earth Romance. You have the King of Boundless Stone. Going from there, then you have the, I believe it is the Atomic Dragon Fist. After that, I'm not sure what you get, because I really stopped after Atomic Dragon Fist when I was reading this book several times. So I always get mixed up on what's next, because the Atomic Dragon Fist is my favorite. And I did make a character, a test play character that I will actually demonstrate a solo play with later on, using that, because yeah, that's just, I have a story with that, so we'll just go with that. And then Path of the Bullet. Next, after Path of the Bullet, we have the 5 Gateways. And I'm kind of just scrolling through this book here. Let me see if I can find a list. So, Path of the Gate... No, not the Path of the Gateways. We have Path of the Bullet. All right, let me start over. So you have the Heaven and Earth Romance, the King of Boundless, Atomic Dragon Fist, Path of the Bullet, 5 Gateways, Divine Breath, Naraka's Cataclysm, Outer Darkness Venom, Unearthly Gift, Mind and Web of Steel, Supreme Ocean Devil, Earth-Splitting Tetsubo, Immortal Emerald Tiger, Dog of Grassways, the 7 Goop Color. Oh, and then that's it. I think that's 14, right? That's 14? That went kind of quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, yeah, that is. Then you have the 7 Goop Colors, which is basically like as I stated before, they would expand on like normal skills. So the 7 Goop Colors, or also known as the 7 Shadow Arts, remain widely practiced. Basically, they're kind of like named after like major professions, like the Art of the Doctor, which is basically someone who has knowledge of how to heal, healing and medical training. Another good one, which I won't share them all like I did with the 14 martial arts, because I think that was kind of like the biggest part of that, but I could be wrong. The Art of the General. So this one is like the General's Wisdom, for like it's hard to explain. Basically, this is someone who's strategic and knows how to formulate strategies. So on and so forth. And each one grants a new action that your character, like if you have a Goop Kala, my character does not, because I didn't think it said get one. I will actually have to go through and make sure that that character is correct. But we will do that at a later time. But I will do that at a later time. But you get a list of new actions that will be opened up to your character as you choose a Goop Kala. I hope I am saying that right. Some of these names are hard, but I'm really, really trying. All right, so this goes into a lot of the world, of course, and character creation. I did not see that in the making, and I've been through this book for many times. Right after that, we then basically get into the character advancement, cost of mastery, and the Dharma charts, where basically you gain points to advance your character to the next degree, and you basically expand on your stats. Then we go into the next chapter, which is basically talks about the game mastery, which is generally for those who are running the games. Now, this is pretty much more pertinent to me than it is for anyone who might see this review, as that some of the people who see this review would be players. But you do actually get a full-fledged whole chapter into how to game master, such as how to set up scenes, how to how to create places and stuff like that would actually be fitting into this city. and, create situations and whatnot. This actually goes on for quite a while, so you do actually get that in full-fledged detail. Once again, if you want to know more, because I'm not here to share the whole book, I'm here to just try and get people to come to the Lone Wolf Fists. The next one we get is moving into is domains. Domains is basically, this is where you learn about areas. Domains is basically like a certain area of the world that you actually travel into, such as like a city and whatnot. There's a person who rules it. There's a person who, there's just people that you populate. I'm sorry, I am really doing a pretty bad part on this explanation. I didn't really spend a lot of time in domains, as much as I did spend in character creation. So, but I assure you, as you read it, because I am looking at the domain page as we speak, and I mean by page, I mean it is an actual character sheet for you to fill out, or for your GM to fill out, of what kind of situations, NPCs, what kind of things and encounters that are in this domain, what kind of power grid there is, treasury, so on and so forth, and trade routes. There is a lot that goes into it. In a sense, a domain is more like what you would write out. Like if you think of it from a Dungeons and Dragons point of perspective, it's basically the area that, here's a town. It's basically the town. Although this might just be part of a city, because you may not have like vehicles that can travel very fast and stuff like that. Going from there, so yeah, there's like stuff like law and stuff like that. So what is a domain turn? A domain turn is a collection of skipped scenes played at a far remove. It is equivalent in length to a campaign arc for reasons that will become apparent. So basically, like, when I'm creating a domain for a small adventure, but that domain may be smaller than what it would be. And domains do have a set of actions. I think I'm reading that right. Rulers can use domain actions for a long scale involving actions like summoning spirits. Okay. I could be wrong. I kind of took it as like it's like a place to be, because when you look at the character sheet, and I'm actually going to look at it right now, it's like it's got ruler, territory, nodes, power grid, treasury, canon of law, subjects, and markets and forces. So I mean, it kind of makes me think of a city. Really does. Okay, so going from there, we move into, I believe this is only a 5-chapter book. We actually, no, it's actually more than that. Then he does actually have a bestiary of what type of creatures would actually exist in this type of setting. This game has got very much a lot of information, and I actually have to give him props on that. Definitely a thumbs up on information regarding everything that you've written so far. Moving on to the 6th chapter. And I'm going to show off some of his other cool art as well. So then getting into the 6th chapter, which is basically armory, we get into vehicle attributes, fuel consumption, size, weight, and much, much more. Of which basically I hear a lot of people say that you can pick up a vehicle and crush someone with it, but it may not hurt them. Think of it once again like something like from Dragon Ball Z. But there is actually limits to that, and you actually should follow those limits, which actually does come into a really good comes with a really good GM screen. So definitely look at that. Creating, modifying vehicles, and you can create your own vehicles and whatnot. So there's a vehicle list, which is earth for construction and transports, water, boats. It looks like also each one is given for each of the chakras. So there's an earth type vehicle is our construction and transport, such as bulldozers and cranes. Waters are basically jet skis and motorboats and cargo ships. Air would be propeller planes, jumbo jets. Wood would be car, dune buggies, motorcycles, freight trains. Fire would be main battle tanks. I like on how he sticks with the theme. He picked a theme and he stuck with it, even with vehicles. Now, he does have another actual thing coming out called Acid and Steel, the first supplement book that he's worked on this one. Because this one he's worked on, I guess he said he's worked on for like 5 years. And and the next one he's been working on a little bit I think he said about a year and a half. Joel, if you are seeing this video, please correct me if I'm wrong about that. And then you even have magic videos. These are artifacts forged for transportation of war machines, but they're basically fueled by piranha. Which I love it. It's like your magical energy from Fairy Tail. It's your chi from like Dragon Ball, your chakra from Naruto. If you like fighting, a lot of good things that probably went into this, a lot of good thoughts that went into this would be Fist of the North Star, Dragon Ball, I think was looked at, Dragon Ball Z, and all that good stuff. So definitely check. You like those, you're going to like this, because this does carry anime style, and I'm going to demonstrate that a little bit. To the best of my ability, I ask you guys to please, when I do demonstrate this, give me some leeway, because I don't know if it's going to be greatly demonstrated, so I'm going to try. But I'm going to try. And then there was even, so they go into vehicles. There's even an artifact list, like the Kafu Blade of Cruel Appetite, which is like, it's a weapon, but it's a treasure. It increases an attack by +3 ranks once per round. And it actually has its own mudra, basically, called Sinister Desire. Unleash a screaming blast of hellish piranha. So it's like basically you channel piranha into it, and it can draw from you. I hope I'm thinking that right. I have not actually spent a lot of time in this section, just because I've been actually really trying to get around to getting some of these videos out. There is a lot in here. You just got to flip through it. It will take you some time, but there is many resources that you can get, and I'm hoping to put out some more resources over the course of the next 14 days. There's a reason why I picked the next 14 days. So basically, he has 14 days left on his Kickstarter, and I'm going to try and get everything out there as much as possible. 13, I am sorry. 13 days on his Kickstarter. I was off by a count. Please forgive me. So, I think... And then we finally get into the final chapter, Chapter 7, The Lore of the World, which covers this setting and the lore throughout the world of what it currently is in its current state after the nuclear war or atomic war has happened. It tells you about it basically tells you about the difficulties of the world and the exposure to the world without shelter. So, such as starving, radioactivity, and much stuff. There is a lot of stuff that goes in here, so I do recommend please checking it out. I will say on information, definitely going to give it a thumbs up. Art, definitely a thumbs up. It does got a lot of art. I believe he is doing his own art. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe he is. So it is taking a lot. He even does have an index at the end of this book, which is awesome. I like it for anyone who especially for indie developers, when they put in indexes, or like basically he calls it the Apocalypse Apocrypha, which basically starts going into certain things. Like for instance, he even has like Lost Treasure of a Dead World that you could come up with. This gives the GM ideas of what they could put in into the world. There's even like lost forms. So there is like the Flashing Nightingale style, which is like basically essentially could be the 15th form. The 15th art of style that they could use, but it would be what you would call rare to have, and it's like to get a teacher, there might be a teacher of it, but it's it would be rare to find. Dirty Rat Bastard style is another one, and he does list some additional forms in here on top of the other 14. And other than that, I think I'm going to let you guys wonder if you want to play an anime style game or not by actually telling you. So I'm going to definitely give it a thumbs up. We're going to show off some of the artwork here in just a minute. To promote, you guys can go to drivethrurpg.com. I will actually have a link in my description. Go to, I believe it's under five Emperor games. Yes, 5 Emperor games. You can pick up the Quick Start introduction adventure for basically pay what you want or donate for $1. The actual core book is $14.99. And then you actually have the GM screen for $1.50. So for less than $20, you can get an introductory adventure. You can get the GM screen, you can get the core book, and you can get there is the Lone Wolf Fist character sheets. That is also pay what you want. I do recommend. I try to tell people to donate. Even just for $1. That way, because it is not, these are indie developers. Like, this is like their bread and butter type of deal. So try and help them out, especially if they produce good games like this. I think this game has massively good potential, and I definitely do like it. I did not actually know anything about it until Mr. Joel Clark actually reached out to me, and we spoke, and he's actually been a really friendly guy. So I definitely, got to give it a thumbs up on the developer. On the developer for reaching out to me and speaking with me. Boy, losing my train of thought. So what did we say? Information, thumbs up. Artwork, thumbs up. Format, I'm going to give that a little bit of a neutral thumb on that one, because I think the format is a little bit of everywhere. So I do, unfortunately, got to criticize on that. Like, I think it could be a little bit more. I say the word streamlined. Streamlined is not the correct word. It's just maybe better suited to where, like, I don't have to jump around a little bit. But on how to do that, I'm not quite so sure. But he does actually list page numbers in here, so I do actually appreciate that. So I'm not going to give that a thumbs down. I'm going to give it a neutral thumb. So yeah. And let me show off some of the artwork here, because there is actually artwork on here that I actually like. And you know what? And I do like it where he has actually shared this. He does go into the best of his ability explaining how the dice roll works, which we will actually explain that here in a little bit. But let me go in here, or not here in a little bit. We will explain it in another stream. So here we go. We actually have a dice where he actually lines up the dice, and basically he tells you about what these are. Now you have a 2, a 9, and 2 3s. So in this example, there is two facing die at a set of 3s, and then there's a 2 facing die and a set of 2 3 facing die and a single 9 facing die. Which basically the number of dice in this set does set its rank. So this is for a rank 3. So this actually sets it up for the rank. So this comes out to 33? Right? No. Yes. Let me see what it says down below. All right, so up above becomes a... Okay, so up above becomes a 12, and then the 2 3s become 23. That's right. Okay. And then basically 9, because you have one single 2 and one single 9. So this is rank 1, this is rank 2. So this is 23, whereas this is 12 and 19. So it is kind of confusing, but I am going to do a workshop on it where we are going to actually attempt to go through this and make sure that we convey this a little bit better. And I'm going to show some examples with my own dice where I actually have my dice table, and you guys are going to see me roll, and we're going to definitely try and get this out there for Mr. Joel Clark. I actually he's been super nice to me, so I definitely want to cover this as much as possible with him, or for him, with him, yeah, with you guys, for him. I am sorry, I am not having a good day today. I don't know what's going on. But going forward, so yeah, he even added how the dice rolls work and how effortless works and how single die rolls work. Now moving in from there, I did say I was going to show off some of the art. So aside from this actual page here, we do have this page here. A lady picking up a tank. That is crazy. Like, there is I have no idea what kind of roll you'd have to have for that. Let's find out, shall we? So to figure out, like, a tank is, oh god, if you went off completely, it's hard to say. If you went off, okay. So if you went off of, like, how much a tank weighs, which that's got to be a few 100 pounds. And I'm looking it up. A main battle tank is roughly 73.6 tons. It says short tons. I have no idea what short. Maybe we're going to say short tons to pounds. Give you guys an idea. It doesn't have US tons to pounds. So 73.6. That is roughly 147,000 pounds. So for someone to have the ability to pick that up is crazy. So what you would do, and I believe that would be lifting or throwing objects, falls under your power chart. So you probably would have to aim for right here. It would have to be higher than rank 11, but you'd have to get a rank 12 or 13, which just basically gives you the power of a demigod, where you could deadlift about 500 tons to 250,000 kilos. Whoa, hang on a second. 55 tons, 500 tons, 35,000. Oh, boy, that would be crazy. You know what? My thing about that is, oh, wait a minute. What did we say? Tons? 73. Yeah, so 55 tons, so it'd be right here. That's just deadlifting. That is crazy. Or punch hard enough to ignite a dormant volcano. That is crazy. Imagine what you would have to roll for that. I mean, I can't imagine first degree characters rolling much on that, to be honest. But yeah, so let me see if I can share off some more of the art real quick to try and get people enticed. And like I said, all the links will be in my description. And he does share art throughout this whole thing too, so I don't know. My favorite one, that was my favorite one. Let me see here. Okay, we're going through a lot of this. Let me see if I can find another one. Let me see if character create the first chapter page. Oh, okay. This is my other favorite one. I actually like. This is another favorite one of mine. I looked at this and I was like, oh my god, that is so cool. He is a very good artist. Well, it says art by Kazuki David. Okay. Tien Shing Loafing Fist by Joel Clark. And then art by Kazuki David. I wonder if... I thought he did his own art. Maybe he has... Well, let's find out. Let's go to the first part of the book. So, let's go to the credits page. If all else fails, go to the credits. Cover art is done by Pavel Kalemets. And then interior art and character design is Kazuki Shinta, or Frederick David, Kimberly Clevin, Michael Clevin, Christoph Grabelski, and Jamil Dennis. Line editors David Ramirez. Game concept David Ramirez. Jerry Skold, Eric Tenbrook, and then graphic design is Victor and Dredd, and then writer, designer, and Fist King of the Waste, Joel T. Clark. There he is. I also forgot editor Albert Lim, and then game concept design is I already said those ones, so there we go. So yeah, I guess he did have help, but with the system, from my understanding, he did design the system himself. So, all right, I am done stumbling over myself. we are going to finally go here. So, layout of the book, there is a lot of white space, but it is generally black and white, which I do love. I do love the black and white art, so I'm going to give it a neutral thumb for art. Information, thumbs up, and art, thumbs up. Because I definitely like the black and white, so 2 thumbs up for that one. And then, like, the format, we're going to say neutral thumb. I'm not sure what else could be done a little bit different, but it does fully explain everything in the book. The price is actually right. I think the price is pretty fair for $15, less than $20. You can get you can get the core book, the GM screen, everything you'll need to run it, and character sheets. So that's actually a pretty fair price. So definitely thumbs up for that, and you can get them at drivethrurpg.com. All right. So next that we have coming up for videos regarding Lone Wolf Fist is now I'm going to demonstrate on a separate video. I'm going to demonstrate. Lord, why am I losing my train of thought today? It's like I'm not awake. On my next video, I'm going to demonstrate the system and a little bit of a test play for you guys. So kind of a workshop video is coming up next. For this, I definitely give it 8 out of 10 or 4 out of 5. For an indie developer, he did really well, I think. That is my opinion. But let's go ahead and, support, give support to Mr. Joel Clark because he did a really great job on this. All right, so other than that, that's everything I have at this time. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe to my channel. The link, hit the like button. If you like the video, please subscribe as I'm trying to gain up to more than 500 subscribers before the end of the year. Before we go, and I can't believe I didn't do this, and I'm doing it now. Oh, Lord. Before we go, oh, for God's sake. Please, for you guys, go to kickstarter.com/project/Lone Wolf Fists. There is the new one for the Kickstarter, which I'm going to share my screen right here. If I can. There we go. So please go right here and please support Mr. Joel Clark. I did say 13. It says 14. Obviously, I can't freaking count. It'll be 13 tomorrow, which is when this video will be released. So, but I'm showing it off on this stream. So yes, go and support. He has 68 backers. He did meet his goal, but let's go ahead and see if he has. Let's see if he has any stretch goals. Look at this. He has. I think he's got an excellent title. He definitely has some great artwork going into this already. That is the ideal of the book, which for hardcover that actually looks pretty good. It's called Lone Wolf Fist, Acid and Steel. It's gonna have the basically history. The Asura, some damned heroes. It's got a lot of new stuff going into this. Look at that. That is awesome. And then stuff more about the campaign and rewards for the tiers. Pledge rewards as well. I'm trying to support him to the best I can. So, yep, go ahead. And then, so at 2,000 funding, furiously funded, we've broken the Divine Seal and unleashed hell. Oh, look, this book is getting written. This is the minimum financial level. And then if we reach 5,000, we get more art. Come on, guys, I would like to see more art. And then if we reach 10,000, we get chapter comics. He has some stretch goals. At 15, we're going to get, dear Lord, even more art. I'm not sure what an offset print run is. 20,000. Holy moly, with this level of funding, we can do high-quality offset prints. So come on, guys, let's get in there. Let's support him. So I'm probably going to show this off on a few more streams as well. So definitely, because I definitely want to see. I want to see this get made to the fullest of everything. You can also go here and go support. You can pledge $1, which actually helps out. You can get the digitized damnation for 15. You can get the brain link to Bebel Key Manar. Download both the digital copy of the Lone Wolf Fist Acid Steel and the digital copy of the Taiyan Shang Lone Wolf Fists with a slick discount. You can spend $40, get the Instrument of Destruction. This is the Radical Tier rewards for your print on demand hardcover. And then you get the Two-Fisted Champion, which the Two-Fisted Champion, this is a breathtaking tier, includes both a print on demand hardcover of Lone Acid Steel of the core game, and then Taiyan Shang. Oh, wow. I might have to pledge. I'm going to try and pledge 80. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it, but I'm going to try. And then you get the Friendly Local Warlord. This badass tier includes dealer discounts for 6 hardbacks. That's for, like, the big shops. And then the Burning Crown of Hell. This is Supreme tier, grants you Diabolical Champion with the power to bring your Asura to life in the pages of the Unholy Tome. And it looks like that is out, as well as the Supreme Clockwork Throne, which those ones did, and then that one. So, yep. So the highest that we can go for right now is $120. Definitely go support my man, Joel Clark. He's actually doing a great job bringing you fun entertainment, especially coming in, leaving 2024, going to 2025, it looks like. And we are going to demonstrate his game right here for him. All right, so that'll be in another video. Sorry to disappoint you guys, but if you guys did like my video, please like and subscribe. And for furthermore, please stay tuned for more further videos. Thank you and have a great and wonderful evening.